gentle people. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Today's topic will be should individual get should individual have sex before marriage? Okay, so I think that should be a personal decision. But then again, it depends on where you are, where you live, your religion, and some other things. But it all boils down to personal this decision, because maybe your mother or your father could choose a partner for you, and if you are not compatible with that partner, then it's going to be a problem, because it won't be your mother or your father living with that person. It's going to be you living with that person. So I think that it all boils down to the individual decision, if they should have sex before marriage. And then again, it depends on the society also, and where you grow up, because some children, they are forced to do, or they are forced into certain things. So they are not allowed the freedom to choose whether they should have sex before marriage or sex after marriage. So I I am not sure how do we conclude how if one should have sex before marriage or sex after marriage, because some of these young individuals, they are doing it without even knowing that they are having sex. So how do we do that? How do we clarify certain things, telling your child that you should not have sex until you are married, or you should have sex before marriage? Depends on the lifestyle that your mother is living, because some parents might want the income to put towards the bill or whatever. So I am not sure if I am not sure anymore who concludes one individual sex life. It's the parents, or if it's if it is the young person, the individual I'm talking about. So that's a very difficult question to answer, if you should have sex before marriage or sex after marriage, because things and time has changed. Okay, so sex before marriage. Alright. So having sex before marriage, it can help to recognize some of the sexual problem. It helps individual to work on the problem if there are sexual problem. I am not encouraging individual to have sex before marriage or sex after marriage. It's up to the individual if they should have sex before marriage or sex after marriage. So these are some of the things that you could prevent, or some of the things you could acknowledge, right? So premarital premarital sex helps to manage the stress that arises from arguments in a relationship. So let's look at some of these topics. Sex helps to recognize sexual problem. Having sex before marriage helps to recognize some of the sexual problem that will be in a relationship. Okay, so having sex before marriage. But I think, for instance, if it's your first partner, then I don't think it would be a problem, because if it's your first partner, then it shouldn't be a problem, because yeah, it's the first time having sex. So how will you know that this would be a problem? But if one partner is more experienced than the other partner, then that is going to be a problem, because this partner will tell this partner that this is how it should be done, or this is what I like, or this is how things should be done, you know, in order to enhance the relationship. So having sex before marriage helps to recognize some of the sexual problem. So when you know that there is a sexual problem, or whatever the sexual problem is, maybe the person might cannot manage certain position, right? Then you will try your very best to choose the position that is best suitable for that individual. Or maybe, what are some of the sexual problems that person have? I'm not sure. As an individual, I'm not sure what are some of the sexual problems that persons have. Oh, that's a good question. What are some of the sexual problems that they have? What um, if the partner sexual organ is too large? What if the male sexual partner is too large for the female? That could be a problem, right? And if the female sexual organ is too large for the male, that also could be a problem. But there are ways, I guess, in which you could maybe fix it. You could maybe move on to a next relationship to somebody who's more compatible, or you could stay and work with the relationship. But then again, if one sexual organ is too large, then you have to ask yourself how many persons can manage um that sexual organ, right? That's a big question. That's a very big question and a good question. Also, what if you are having issues having sex, right? If you cannot manage certain sex position, or if it's that your uterus is too low, or maybe the male whoa, I didn't know that I didn't know anything about sex. That's very interesting that I don't know anything about sex. I actually don't know anything about sex. What does sex involve in, right? Hmm. Okay, so if, for instance, there are lots of ways in which persons have sex these days, and I don't know all of them. But if persons are having sexual problem in their relationship, then they can try different method. Like they can maybe try the palm. They can maybe find try the arm. They can probably do leggings. They can. There's so many puzzles and that I can't even relate to all of them. But you guys, I assume you know all the position. So in case if you're having a problem with the sex position, you can try that sex position. And there are persons out there, if they're having, if for example the female is having their menstrual, there are other things they can do otherwise from having sexual intercourse to make their relationship more interesting. Also, there are pills or injection, but I don't know which female would want to take pill or injection while you're seeing your menstrual just to please a man, just to have sex when it's a natural thing to do. It's a natural thing like to ovulate. So I don't know which female would want to stop their period or their menstrual to have sex. But whatever the sexual problem that are in the relationship that one would want to fix before marriage, so that they, if they think that they should keep the partner or they should not keep the partner, whatever the sexual problem are, then I think that the person will work on whatever the sexual problem are. If it's that you can't get along but you like each other, but in bed there is nothing excited about what's one partner have to offer, then maybe you could go to your doctor, or you could watch movies or videos that encourage or tells or read books that encourage you how to behave or act um doing sexual encounter, right? So if for instance, if you're having sex before marriage and and for instance the female, you want to make sure that you can get pregnant before marriage, right? Some female would do that. So they'll try, and then if there are problem, for instance, for the female getting pregnant, then there are doctors or pills out there that will encourage the individual or will help the individual to ovulate more or to produce more egg so that pregnancy can take place. Because most couples, they don't want to know that, for instance, they're in a relationship and you're in a relationship and you cannot have any children. To some couple, that is one of the most important thing in a relationship. So whatever the problem are, you want to know that you realize or you acknowledge that the problem is there before getting married. So it depends on what the problem is are, then the individual would like to work on the problem to make sure that this doesn't occur during the marriage. I hope you're following me. You want to make sure that, for instance, if the person's if for instance if the female, if you realize that when you have sex, right, um the female might have bleeding, right, then you as a partner should know that maybe you should take your little time, or you should know what to do as a male during the intercourse, so not to feel to allow the female to feel displeasure or to feel uncomfortable or to stop during the process. And some persons, they don't have any feelings, or I should say emotion, to know that, for instance, maybe when the female is going through certain things, they're not there, for instance, to comfort the female, to give them that assurance that they are there. Sometimes they just leave them and they start to blame them for everything that is you, because of this, why this is happening, or because you didn't set yourself good, why that is happening, or that has happened, or because you turn like this, or maybe you just don't care why certain things happen. So sometimes we should not blame each other because this happened. We should work on the fault that the person is going through to make sure that each person is okay and each person is enjoying themselves. Okay, so for some persons, during sexual intercourse, it's like it's a stress thing for them, right? It's just like each time their partner say that they want to have sex, it's just like it bring a different burden on them. Whatever, maybe the person is not, is not smooth. Maybe the person is ignorant, or they don't know how to deal. They don't know how to deal with certain situation. So, for instance, a female, when it's time to have sex, maybe they might shy away, or they might shun, or they might find something else to do, which leave the man hanging. And then by the time the man feel that it's time for him to have intercourse, then that would break his focus or his concentration, or maybe might change his mind, that he doesn't want any sex, just because of how maybe the male might handle the female during sexual intercourse. So then again, we should know what our partner like or what our partner dislike doing sexual intercourse, to prevent argument from developing um this into the relationship. So what are some of the pros of having sex before marriage? So one, you gain sexual experience. When you have sex before marriage, you gain sexual experience. Next one is sexual compatibility. Two, you might know the sexual problem. You might know the sexual problem, right? You might know the stress level. So those are some of the things, those are some of the pros of having sex before marriage. So, alright, so for instance, you're going to gain a sexual experience having sex before marriage. Just like, for instance, when you go to apply for a job, when you go to apply for a job, and the first thing they ask you is, do you have any experience, right? So, for instance, you see this guy and you like this guy, and first of all, if the guy is experienced, then the guy would want to know if this female has any experience. So if the female has any experience, or if the female doesn't have any experience, then it's up to the young man to choose whether he wants a female who has experience, or he doesn't want a female who doesn't have experience. Because some male, they will take the people good child, and they do whatever they feel like to have sexual intercourse with them for so many years, maybe 5 years, 10 years, and when they think that maybe that female is not good enough for them anymore, they will move on to somebody, or a female who hasn't have sex before to be their wife. So females, you have to be careful out there the type of partners you take up, because some of them will take you up just for the sex, but when it's time for you to get married, they will tell you that they don't want you because you have been with so many persons, and so many persons, that is the reason why they don't want you. But at the end of the day, you have the experience. So that's, it's a good thing and it's also a bad thing, because some men will take a female who has experience because they don't want to go through that training a female how to have sex, while you might have a next male who wants a female who already have sex, because they cannot deal with certain things before a female have sex. So while having sex before marriage, it give you that kind of experience to enter into the relationship. Bear in mind, I am not encouraging individual to have sex before marriage, but we are looking at what are some of the pros of having sex before marriage. And one is you gain experience. The next one is sexual compatibility. Okay, when you have sex before marriage, you will consider if you have that sexual compatibility. Sexual compatibility means that you can work together, or you fit together perfectly, or you just find that person where you can say, okay, I don't really have any problem, or even if I have a problem, I don't have much problem with this individual, or with having sex with this individual. Some male, they like to describe female when they, after they have sex with the female, they go back and they tell a friend, oh, this female is this size, or this female is that size, or this female juicy, or this female is not juicy. Whatever the description that they might add to the female, some are nice, some are not so nice. But guys, you must also bear in mind that you also have sisters and you have mothers. So if the female is not so nice, then you could, you can say something, but say it to somebody who will keep their mouth shut. Or don't say it to somebody who will go and spread it, and let the individual look small. Bear in mind that that female is somebody's daughter, maybe could be a mother or somebody's child. So, and you don't want that person to go embarrassing, knowing that they are individual, and maybe you could be in that person's shoes. So you don't want to say anything bad about the individual. Being compatible. So when you find a partner who you think is very compatible, you want that partner to stay with you, whether you want the partner to marry to, or you just think it's just compatible for yourself, then you will keep that partner. So if you think that partner is compatible, because some people or some person, not because the person is compatible, that doesn't mean that they want the individual for the rest of their life. Maybe the person is compatible, but maybe the person cannot wash, maybe the person cannot cook, maybe the person cannot have any children, or maybe the person is not that educated, so they don't want that individual, even though the person is compatible. But at the end of the day, you will know that that person was compatible for you. So that is one of the pros of having sex before marriage. So the next one is sexual problem. So when you have sex before marriage, you will know some of the problem that might arise in a relationship. Maybe you might you might know that maybe the females or the male like somebody who they call a long distance person. Some person like long distance person, while some person like short distance person. If for instance, if you know you're a female and you are a person who cannot manage long distance, then you will not choose a partner who wants to go long and all over you. Not sometimes they are not doing anything, but they are there enjoying themselves, and you are there but you are not enjoying yourself. While a person might go for a person who is a short distance or a short timer, and you enjoy yourself. So it all depends on the individual, what they think is more compatible for them, whether they want somebody who can, or maybe if for instance you like a long distance person, maybe they're a long distance person and they're not doing anything, they're just there and enjoying themselves, while the person is a long distance person, while you're enjoying yourself and the person's enjoying yourself. But maybe you just don't like a long distance person, or maybe the person is a short distance person, but they can pleasure you. But the problem is that the person is just a short distance person. So it's up to you to work on the problem of the long distance person. Maybe you could blend the short distance person, maybe you could blend up him juice, give him, maybe you could take him to the doctor to find out why he's a short distance person. Maybe that is just his nature to be a short distance person. Or some persons that as sugar or are diabetics, that they tend to not to be a long distance person or a strong person, right? I should say. So it all depends on the person. It all depends on the person, whether they're a short distance person or a long distance person, and whether the partner themselves want a short distance or a long distance. So the next one is stress level. Pros, stress level. So for instance, some persons, it's just like sometimes you might have problem, or you might just having a bad day, or things at your home is not going well, and you know that you can go over to so and so to release some stress, right? You know that if you go over so and so, you can get your business fixed, a job is well done, and you can enjoy yourself and you can relax, and that's it. But you have some next person now, they're having intercourse and it's very stressful for you and for them. Is that the stress level is very high. So you have to ask yourself, do you want this person for the rest of your life? Those person who add stress to your relationship. Well, right? Is it that every time when you having stress, you should go over to so and so to release the stress? To go over to Mr. John, over to John to release your stress? Is it that when you're having stress at work, stress at home, children stressing you, whatever it is that is stressing you, you can to go over to John to release your stress? What happened after that? Eh? Your stress is going to come back, so you have to know how to deal with your stress on a day-to-day um day-to-day. So what are the cons of having sex before marriage? What are some of the cons? Interest, pregnancy, SCE, and guilt. Alright, so when you have sex before marriage, then you as the individual will decide if it's something you would like to do, or is something you would want to do later on down the road, right? So if you realize this is something that is nice, then you would want to continue it down the road. But if it's something that you think is stressing you out, then you wouldn't want to continue later down the road, right? So if you find it interesting, then you would want to take up something in that field. But if it's something that you don't find interested, then later on you might choose a religion or a relationship in which you don't have to have sexual intercourse with your partner, whichever religion is that, or whichever partner would choose not to have sexual relationship. Maybe they don't want to have any children, or whatever the situation is. So you might gain interest or you might lose interest. It depends on how it all started. It depends on the experience that you get. Just like, for instance, if you went to school to do agriculture. After you went to school to do agriculture, you realize that agriculture wasn't what you thought agriculture would be. You can either love agriculture or you can choose something else. So if you find out that agriculture is more than you thought, then maybe you would want to try agriculture out later on. But if it's something that you say to yourself that I don't like it, I don't like the thing that they do in agriculture, maybe you don't like when they when they do certain thing in agriculture, you would say, okay, maybe I wouldn't choose this area, or maybe I would choose that area. It depends on what you do. So maybe you might leave school and you might choose a different field, right? You might not choose agriculture, you might choose to do something else. Or maybe you might just continue agriculture because it's something that you like. So you could gain interest or you could lose interest. So the next one is pregnancy. Having sex before marriage, you can get pregnant, right? If you're a person who's having sex before marriage and you doesn't protect yourself, if you don't go on the family planning, if it doesn't withdraw, then this can lead to pregnancy. So it all depends on your state of mind whether you are ready to be pregnant or not. So if you're an individual and you don't want to get pregnant, then you should not have sex before marriage. Or if you are having sex, then you should do what is necessary not to get pregnant. Also, if you get pregnant, you'll ask yourself, am I in the position to carry this child? Should I carry this child? Those are some of the questions. Whereas if your mother is working as a single parent and they have to be spending so much amount of money just to send you to school, and then to find out that you are pregnant, then your parents or your mother is going to be disappointed in you, knowing that this is her hard working money, and this is all you tell her thanks for sending you to school. So if you don't want to get pregnant, you should not have sex before marriage. Or if you have sex before marriage, you should always use protection, or do your withdrawal, or do due diligent work on the things that you know that will not get you pregnant. Okay, follow. Always bear in mind that if you don't want to get pregnant, then do the right thing. Do the right thing because you don't want certain sins to follow you. So the next one is STDs. Alright, so you have some persons who say that STD, sexual transmitted diseases, right? And you know them, maybe gonorrhea, syphilis, AIDS, and the list goes on. So right, if you're a person who is having unprotected sex, right? Whether you're married or you're not married, chances are if the person has an infection, then you can get that infection. Also, it can transmit it to you. That's why it's called sexual transmitted disease, because it can pass from one person to the other person. So if you're a person and you know that your partner has a lot of sexual partners, then I would encourage you not to have sex with that person, or if you have sex with that person, you should always use a protection, because sorry doesn't cut it, right? And sometimes you might not have the money to go and buy the medication, or some of them, when they give you that disease, they will say to you that they don't have any money. They don't have any money to give to you to go and for you to go to the doctor. So they will say to you that you should go and get money, or go and get money from somebody else, and go to the doctor. Sometimes they will even go as far to say, I am not the only one you have intercourse with. You have intercourse with so and so and so and so and so those are the persons who you might get it from. That's what the person might tell you, when they know sometimes they are the one who give it to you. So individual persons, I'm asking you to protect yourself during sexual intercourse, because nobody who wants to have sex is going to look at you and tell you that, hey, I have syphilis, come and have sex with me. No, they are not going to do that. Whereas if they want to get you in certain traps, they're going to make sure that they don't use any protection. So you as an individual, you should make sure that you always use a protection. So STD, for your sexual transmitted disease. And also you have some persons, they might have the STD, but they might not know that they have it because they are carriers. They call themselves carriers. So if the persons are carrier, chances are they might not know that they have the STD. But you as an individual who has sexual intercourse with that person, you might get the disease, even though the person is a carrier. And sometimes when you go to the person and say, I have a disease, and they say, but I don't have the disease. I am not the one who give it to you. So then and there you can't blame them, because they are a carrier. They are a carrier, so they will not tell you that they have a sexual transmitted disease, because they themselves doesn't know that they have a sexual transmitted disease. I hope you're following me, and I hope you're learning, and I hope you're taking something away from what I'm teaching you. And also you have some individual who know that they have the disease, but they just want to give it to you. They just want to give it to you to tell a person that, oh, I give so and so it, and I give so and so it, and it can, and you cannot say it's a lie. And when you have these things, you have to go to the doctor to get treatment. Don't say, oh, I don't want to go to the doctor because I don't want so and so to know that I have this. I am encouraging you, when you have certain things, please go to the doctor to get help, to get treatment, and it's for your own good, right? Right? It's for your own good. So I'm encouraging you, when you have these things, please go to the doctor to get treatment. Okay? Also, the guilt. Okay, so for some persons, when they have sexual intercourse before marriage, right? And whatever reason why they have sexual intercourse before marriage, they will feel guilty. Yeah, this guilt is over them, and they feel bad because they have sexual intercourse before marriage. Maybe you were maybe you were young and you didn't know any better, or maybe somebody who forced you into sexual intercourse, or maybe it's a part of your religion or culture, whatever community, or whatever household, or whatever it is, why you have to have sexual intercourse before marriage. Maybe you didn't even know that you were having sex until later on, and by then there's nothing you can do, because you have already have sex. So you will feel this guilt, right, later on in life. And sometimes you, as the persons who they have sex with, you might feel guilty because they try to put the blame on you, that you are the one who did this, or you wanted it. But most of the time, persons don't look on the fact that it was the person who encouraged you or forced you into having sexual intercourse with them. So sometimes, as a female, when you get older in life and you might meet your so-called partner, or somebody who wants to marry you, and in yourself you feel good that in yourself you say, yes, this person is going to be my husband. But at the end of the day, you have this guilt knowing that you have sex before marriage, and you should have saved the sex for your husband. You should have saved the sex for your husband. But at the end of the day, you can't really blame yourself for something you don't know or you didn't know, because if you know that not having sex before marriage is very important, then I know that most female or even males also, they will not have sex before marriage. So they will save their sex, that first sex, for their husband or for their wife. So sometimes persons who have sex before marriage, they feel this guilt that they are the one who should have known better not to have sex before marriage. But sometimes they are not the one to be blamed. Sometimes it's the person, excuse me, who forced them into having sex before marriage. So don't put all the guilt on yourself, knowing that you are not the person who forced yourself into getting married. You should encourage yourself and be strong, knowing that you are not the one to be blamed fully. So the next one, let us look at what does the Bible say about sex before marriage. And I'm going to be looking at the New International Version and Hebrews 13 verse 4. This is serious. Hebrews 13 verse 4. Look at Hebrews, love. So Hebrews 13 verse 4, and it says, marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterers and all the sexual immorals. I didn't say that. That's what the Bible say about marriage, sex before marriage. So the next one is First Corinthians 5 verse 1. It is actually reported that there is sexual immorality among you, and of a kind that does not occur even among pagans. A man as his father wife. So that was First Corinthians 5 verse 1. So the next one is First Corinthians 6 verse 18. First Corinthians 6 verse 18. First Corinthians 7 verse 9. Verse 9. But if they cannot control, First Corinthians 7 verse 9. But if they cannot control themselves, they should marry, for it is better to marry than to burn with passion. So the Bible saying that Jesus, if you think you cannot control your sex, if you think you cannot control yourself and you should have sex, then you should get married, because it says, but if they cannot control themselves, they should marry, for it is better to marry than to burn with passion. So if you know you cannot control yourself, it's better to be married than burn with passion. So this is a Bible here encouraging you to get married before sex. But then again, why? But then again, if you are having sex, if you are having sex, then you could might as well just get married. You could might as well just get married, right? Because the fact that you're having sex, then you might just get married. Oh God. So the next one is Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 22 verse 21. Deuteronomy 22 verse 21. And it say, if a man is found sleeping with another man's wife, both the man who sleep with her and the woman must die. You must purge the evil from Israel. So I don't know if they're talking about Israel here, Israel, or just Israel as in saying why they should get married, right? So that is what the Bible is saying, that you should get married based on Deuteronomy 21, Deuteronomy 22, Deuteronomy 22 verse 21 say, if a man is found sleeping with another's man's wife, both the man who sleep with her and the woman must die. So the man, they're not blaming one, they're blaming both the man and the woman who sleep together, that they should die. So people out there who are taking certain risks in their daily life or in their relationship, this is what the Bible is saying. Then some person will say that they don't want to get married because they are not ready, or they don't want to get married and divorce, or they don't want to get married because they are not compatible. But it is good for you to live with the partner, but it's not good for you to marry the persons. How come? Would you want to live with a person for so long and not married? Good day, my nice friend. Good day, Marty. How are you doing? It's been a long time. I haven't heard from you, and I see maybe this is one of your topic, or maybe you're free while you're joining me right here. So as you see, the topic is, should individual have sex before marriage, right? And I'm looking at what does the Bible says about persons, about marriage and sex. So the next one is First Corinthians 6 verse 18. First Corinthians 6. One One love Jamaica. Alright. So First Corinthians 6 verse 18. And it says, flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a man commits are outside his body, but he who sins sexually sin against his own body. So it says flee from sexual immortality. So what the Bible is saying, if I'm wrong, you can correct me. You should flee from sexual immortality, things that are wrong. You know? Correct me there again. So when you commit sin, when you're committing sexual sin, you're committing those sins against yourself. So as an individual, if for instance, I heard as an individual, and for instance, you have sex with a person, I heard that when you have sex with a person, you take the spirit with you, right? So that is maybe one of the reasons why some persons they are tormented, right? They are tormented because when you have sex with this individual, you actually draw this person with you, or you actually get some of their spirit, whichever way that they interpret it. So, for instance, if you just imagine yourself having sex with maybe 5 persons, or 10, or maybe 20 persons, right? You actually have 20 spirits like within you, or 20 spirit that you have drawn from these persons. So I am encouraging persons. I know sometimes it's hard to do to have one sexual partner, which some of us already gone through the gate, but we can start from now, just having one sexual partner. It is good for you, and it is good for the partner, because it encourages certain things, and it lessens certain things. It the money will stays in the home. Your partner will be stress free. There won't be any sexual transmit. Well, I hope there won't be any sexual transmitted disease. So that is some of the reason why you should have one sexual partner. And also, our next one is also when you have sex with more than one person. Read First Corinthians 7 verse 9 already, right? First Corinthians 7 verse 9. So when you have sex with these persons, then you actually get in their spirit. So to prevent yourself from being tormented or tormenting yourself, or to be at peace with yourself, don't have a lot of sex with different sex partner, because you're actually drawing these spirits with you. First Corinthians 7 verse 9. I read that already, but I'm going to read it again. And it says, First Corinthians 7 verse 9. But if they cannot control themselves, they should marry, for it's better to marry than to burn with passion. I don't know why you want me to reread it, but so I don't think that in this case the Bible is saying anything bad about why you should have one partner, or why you should have one sexual partner, because individuals are drawing attention, are drawing things to themselves, which they don't realize that they are doing, and at the end of the day they might say is their neighbor did that to them, or their neighbor did this to them, when at the end of the day they didn't realize that when you actually have sexual intercourse with somebody, you're actually drawing these spirits. You're actually drawing these spirits onto yourself. So individuals, please don't go around having sex with any and everybody. Whereas if the person is already married, I would say that's a no. Just leave married man alone. I think there's a part in the Bible, I don't remember exactly, that speaks about staying away from married man. So let me see what Exodus 22 verse 16 say. Exodus 22 verse 16. So 16. It said, if a man seduce a virgin who is not pledged to be married and sleep with her, he must pay the bride price, and she shall be his wife. If she father absolutely refuse to give her to him, he must still pay the bride price for the virgin. Right, and so I think that back in the days, they normally have a bride price. Just like today, you will have some men, as I said before, you have some man out there. When you take the people them good, picking them and do all sort of things with them. They with them for how much years? 5, 10, 30 years. Where them could have do so much things with them life, but them have these individual having sexual intercourse with them and they don't marry them, right? And then you leave that female after maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and you want a next man to take up that female, and you, that individual, sometimes you're there with this person 5, 10, 15 years and you don't offer the person marriage, and you leave this person, and you, the male, you want to take up you the, you the male, you want to take up a female who haven't have sex in all their life. That is not right, and that doesn't feel good to know that you want what if the female did say them, for instance, say they want a male who didn't have sex from beginning. That would, you would also feel embarrassing. So I'm saying to you male, so I'm saying to you males, don't go around using the people them good girl child to do all sorts of things if you know you don't want them to get, you don't want them to marry. Leave them to somebody who will accept them for who they are. Because some of you males, you come and you tell the people them good girl child and you have sexual intercourse with them, and when you think so you Una do enough damage to the females, them una move on to the next victim. But remember, you are taking all these spirits when you have sex from the individual with you. So when you enter into some relationship and you realize that you are uncompatible, it's because you have drawn all these spirits with you and you didn't realize that you are taking so many spirits with you. So you are going to be very miserable and your partner is going to be very miserable. So I'm encouraging you today, don't take disadvantage of the people them good children. Okay, don't do it. Don't do to other person what you wouldn't want somebody to do for yourself. And you must also be a good citizen, knowing that they are somebody's child, somebody's children, and they're going to be somebody's parents. And maybe is that same female you're going to have to turn to later on. So don't take disadvantage. So let us look at our next verse. So you have Leviticus 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 15 verse 8. Let us look at what Leviticus 15 verse 8 say. It said, if a man with the discharge spit on someone who is clean, that person must wash his clothes and bath with water, and he will be unclean till evening. Let me see if I understand. If a man with a discharge spit on someone who is clean, that person must be washed his clothes and bathed with water, and he will be unclean till evening. I don't think I understand what that verse is saying and what the spit in that case mean, and the discharge. Maybe I should go and study pastor. Maybe religion. What do you call it? Theology. Maybe. But even then, pastors, they don't preach everything in the Bibles, right? They don't read every book in the Bible, right? They don't read every book in the Bible. Every Sunday or each Sunday they keep on preaching the same, or repeat the same Bible or the same book in the Bible. So some of the things they don't preach to us is that this is not a part of the Bible. And sometimes when you ask them about certain things, they will say to you, all right, leave it till the next time or whatever. So not everything is taught to us, and some of them we don't really understand. But I am encouraging individuals that they should read their Bible. So, for example, when you go to church and the word is being preached, you can relate to the word to say, oh, I read that in the Bible, or I read that in the Bible. So now I think I understand what the Bible is talking about. So the pastor, some of them need to explain to us more what the Bible is saying. So let us look at Hebrews 13 verse 4. Hebrews 13 verse 4. What does it say? It says that marriage should be honored by all and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterers and all the sexual immoral. You hear that? Marriage should be honored by all. So that means say you must honor your marriage. So if you're married to your partner, you should stick to your partner, obey your partner. Don't go outside and have any other partner. You should marry your partner. And the Bible in this verse speaks about adulterers. Adulterers and their sexual immorality. So when you are married, it's time for you to settle down with your partner and live a happy life. Don't go there and stray and go look no other partner, because no better no out there. Because no better no out there. If you have a partner, if you are married and you realize that there are problems in the relationship, try and work. Well, some relationship can work on, but if it's a simple thing, you can work on the marriage, because sometimes persons are forced into being merged, and then the individual living with the persons, they have problem living with them, and the problem cannot fix, and sometimes they just there, and the problem is just there. You're uncomfortable, the partner is uncomfortable, the children are uncomfortable, you are uncomfortable, and when you're uncomfortable, then you cannot perform the way you are supposed to work. That's why it's important for you to to find out certain things about your partners before actually entering into a relationship, so you can know the type of person you have to deal with at the end of the day. So let me look at one more. My body, come hold this. If me ever have to come in there to you. Mr. Marty, sir, you're filing for some adoption. You want to be the child. Okay, where's the child father? Let me answer the question. The child father is not here. The child father is not here, but the child does as a father, I guess. The child as a father, the father is not here. The father is not in Jamaica. The father is not in Jamaica. Alright, so let us look at which one I didn't do. Let me do 1 Corinthians 7 verse 2 and 1 Corinthians 7 verse 2. So you can also, if you have a Bible nearby, you can turn to your Bible to see if I'm reading the correct thing, or just to follow, or to give your opinion on what did I say? 1 Corinthians 7 verse 2. So 1 Corinthians 7 verse 2, and it says, but since there is so much immorality Each man should have his own wife and each woman her own husband. I didn't say that. That's what the Bible says. The Bible says that each man should have his own wife and each woman should have as his own husband. So that means that you should not take a next man wife and a wife should not take a next woman husband. So the Bible say, I didn't say that. The Bible say that you should not take a next man wife or you should not take a next man woman. Right? So the Bible itself speaks about, so there are so many parts in the Bible or chapter or there are so many books in the Bible that tells us about what does the Bible say about marriage or marriage before sex or what you should do, sex and marriage or sex and marriage. But some of us we might know some of them, some of them we might not know them because okay, I would read my Bible. So I read my Bible, I would read like for instance Genesis. So today I might read the first page. Depends on the Bible. If it's a big Bible, I read like one page. If it's a small Bible, I read both pages, like left and right. So today I read like the first Genesis. So I mark it. I use something to mark it, and then tomorrow I would read maybe Genesis 2, depends on how long it be. So over the period of time, I find myself reading from Genesis to Revelation. But that doesn't mean that I know everything that is in the Bible, but I know I read the Bible, but where in the Bible say that it's better for a man I think I hear that already, but it's better for a man not, no, it's better for a man to not marry, but at the same time, it must be a reason why the Bible says better for. I think the Bible says better for a man to live on top of the house on the house top than to live with a nagging wife. I don't remember exactly where in the Bible say that it's better for a man to live on the top of the house top than to live with a nagging wife. But it's a reason why the Bible has reason why it say whatever it is. It depends on the topic of the scripture, what the scripture is talking about, why you say for instance say it's better for a man not to marry. It must be a reason why the Bible says better for a man must be, you know, not right. It must be a reason why you say that. Maybe the woman is a nagging woman, so you cannot marry that woman, or maybe because the woman cannot have any children. I mean, it was Sarah in the Bible who couldn't have it. But then in the Bible, you know, the Bible speak also. So some people say the Bible is very contradicting. The Bible has one man has so many wives. Am I saying okay? Okay, okay, but in some parts of the world, there are some man or me, whatever they are, they will have more than one wives, right? But the Bible say that. I just read First Corinthians 7 verse 2, when it say something about a man having his own wife and a husband having his own um wife. A man having his own wife and a woman having his own husband. What happened to those persons who live in certain countries or a certain area where they say that where they have concubine? I think some parts in the Bible some man has more than one concubine. So then again, it's very contradicting what oh I don't know. The Bible is something else. But, you know, to each his own. Each person has to just live their life and knowing that this is the type of life you live. Because I think there's somewhere in the Bible where you have some person having more than much concubine and some person just didn't satisfy with maybe the amount of wife they have or maybe the amount of husband. So in the Bible you have some persons, I can't remember off the top of my head, some persons, because I didn't know I wouldn't go into this. You have some persons they're married, but they have other wife or other persons like Sarah. say, even the Bible, I think it was Sarah, she couldn't have any children, and he, the husband slept with the helper, and all these things. But even then, you have these things still going on in these days where you have some husband have their wife, maybe they get tired of the wife, or maybe the wife cannot have any children. You're still having some man still sleeping with their helpers, right? And even in the church, you might have some, whatever, having more than one sisters in the church. So I don't know if it's from creation why you have some things going on still continue, or it's because they are still human being why you have certain things still going on. But sometimes if you follow the Bible, you might get, go astray, or you just take out one part of the Bible and say, this is what I'm following. While you have a next part of the Bible that might contradict to that part what you are saying. I don't know if I'm making any sense here, but I am just trying to explain what I think. So that's the reason why maybe you don't have some person getting married, or some person going to church, because they just think that this is what some persons focus on. They don't see this part of the Bible, this part of the Bible, whatever this part of the Bible is, that they only choose to stick around on this part of the Bible. Marty, are you there? I'm not hearing from you. So the Bible can be very contradicting. That's why some persons go to do other religion, or choose to do something else other from Christianity, because they just think that the Bible is not giving them the answer that they are looking for. And when you were much younger, and the pastor would preach certain scripture to you, or books in the Bible, and as you get older and you begin to read the Bible for yourself, you say, oh, let's skip out this part. Let's skip out this part, or let's skip out this part, because they don't teach us about certain things. They just teach us about the things that they know, or the things that they want you to know. They don't tell us everything that is there, and they will not tell us everything, because they don't want to widen our knowledge on the things that are there. But if we as an individual, we don't go and learn things for ourselves, then we are going to get left behind, because the pastor is preaching this topic, but there is also a next topic contradicting the topic that he is preaching about. So we as individual should read the Bible for ourselves. Even if we don't understand the Bible, just read the Bible, knowing that, for instance, when you go on the road, sometimes you go on the road and you see some person and they want to tell you about the Bible, what the Bible say about this and what the Bible say about that. But when you go on the road and you see these person and they say certain things about the Bible, right? Right, like for instance, they say, forgive your brother, whatever. Or if the you must turn the cheek, yeah. So they don't tell her, they tell her that you must turn her cheek. They don't remember the part of the Bible that say an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So when you read the Bible and you go there and you meet these people and they're telling you some parts of the Bible, when you read the Bible, even though you might not understand what the Bible is saying, and a person says this to you, you can go back and say the Bible also says that, right? So when you don't have to understand the Bible to know what the Bible is talking about. Just read the Bible so that when you hear people talking about the Bible, you can give your input on what the Bible is saying. So I hope you have learned something today, and I hope you are doing the right thing. So let me tell you, how can you avoid sex before marriage? So certain persons, I don't know if you can really choose to avoid sex before marriage based on this type of era that we are living in, because some parents or some individual, they actually have to be forced into sex in order to earn. So some person, they have to be forced into sex before time so that they can survive, right? You have some parents out there who actually force whether their children or other people children into sex so that they can get food to put on their table. Also in some cases, when you want to go to college and you meet this person and you have to do things to go to school or to complete school. It depends on your situation. So let me tell you some of, but then again, this world is kind of complicated because if a mother has 5 children, right? The mother has 5 children, right? And the mother die, right? I don't know, but I don't think that government is going to take up those 5 children. Even though they might say they're going to take up the 5 children, I don't think the government is going to. Maybe I could be wrong. You can't tell me if I'm wrong. If they are not going to close them, feed them, do all the things that a child supposed to get. At the end of the day, the older one, the older one, most time at the end of the day, they are the one who become the parents. Trying to help the little brother or help the little sister, knowing that they're already there. And so sometimes these older siblings, because they are the older ones, sometimes maybe if the grandmother is there, say, oh, you have to stop school, just to help the younger siblings as to get to school. So you find out that maybe the older siblings might have to leave school and get a job so that they can help their smaller brother or their sister. Or maybe they might turn to sex. And sex, sometimes you might have to turn to drugs, because sometimes you cannot manage the sex. Or maybe the sex, you're not ready for sex. So because the sex is so stressing, you have to turn to drugs just to ease some of the pain that the individual is going through. So having sex at a tender age or before marriage sometimes is not easy. Sometimes persons are stressed, and the stress that they are going through, they have to turn to sex. Or maybe because of the needs or the wants that are there, they have to turn to sex. So having sex before marriage is one of the most difficult things a person or individual has to do. But whatever it is, life is still there. But the Bible says you can always go back and you ask for forgiveness. So I'm hoping that you can always go back and ask the good Lord forgiveness, because He will forgive. I think the only thing the Lord doesn't forgive you for if you take your own life. So if you have sex before marriage, I'm not encouraging to have sex before marriage, but if you have sex before marriage, you can always go to the Lord and ask for forgiveness, ask for repentance. So some of the things you can do to avoid sex before marriage is not to be alone together in a bedroom with door closed. The next one, not to be alone together in a house without other family members. Spend time together one on one, um in open area in groups. Alright. So the first one, not to be alone in a bedroom. Yes, I know the Bible was written by different people, and you and I won't think the same way, because maybe you're thinking different from my thinking, right? Maybe I might read this sentence, and maybe it might say to me that this is what it say. And maybe when you read this same sentence, you might get a different um understanding. Maybe I'm looking at it from this point of view, and you are looking at it from this point of view. But at the end of the day, when I explain myself to you and you explain yourself to me, then maybe at the end of the day we are both correct, because you're giving me your opinion, what you think, and I'm giving you my opinion, um that you think, because I heard before that different person write the Bible, then different person's gonna give maybe their different, they're gonna express they're going to express their thinking or what they think, even though in the Bible there are repetition, there are repetition of some things in the Bible. I remember everything, but there are repetition of some things in the Bible, like maybe in, I think, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. There are repetition of maybe Jesus on earth or something like that. But there are repetition. So if you don't understand, if you don't read the Bible, then you will say, "But we read this already." But as you said, there are different persons write the Bible. As I say, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The what their name again? Something like that. I don't remember exactly. When I get old, I can't remember everything. Yeah, so maybe they might see it. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Maybe they might see, no, the synoptic gospel, I think. So they might see this from their point of view. So you might have the same thing written by somebody, the same thing written by different persons. So different persons have their own view. As I was saying, how to avoid sex how to avoid sex before marriage. So don't be alone in a bedroom with the door closed. Okay, sometimes you say you're dating this young man or this young girl, or for instance, say the girl, the boys. Most of the time, no matter no one boy pick the come in here. I think that maybe the boys might carry the girl to the home. Most of the time, the parents don't know that their girl child they are dating, but people nowadays don't really date, but we just go with the flow, dating, right? So you are dating somebody, right? And you go to the house, right? So maybe the mother might there, you say, mommy, this is Sue. You introduce your mother to Sue and say, okay. So your mother is there, maybe washing, cooking, or whatever it is. So you and this guy is in the room, and mommy say, okay, mommy know that you are there, but mommy don't know what you are doing, right? So you and this guy in the room, right? Sometimes you might tired, and you say, oh God. Sometimes you might tell you say you might take a nap, right? You can't trust people, and sometimes you got people house and they might give you something for drink. In a no time, you knock right out, turn over, you don't have a clue what going. So you knock right over, you drink this something and you knock right over, and the guy have sexual intercourse with you without you knowing that the guy have sexual intercourse. Sometimes there's no evidence. Sometimes you wake up and you might see the guy clean up himself. And you say like, oh, what happened? That time the ass already got through the gate. So don't go to somebody else and make them close the gate. Close the door if you're not ready for certain things. Stay somewhere in the house where where the mother can see you, to know that if anything you can maybe call out to the mother. Whereas if you are not ready to have sex yet, yeah, if for instance it's a big house, right, and maybe the son is downstairs and the mother is upstairs, maybe doing something. If the door closed most of the time, and if the door is closed, and if the music is turned up, the mother won't know that you're crying out for help down there, So you have to be in the open where maybe the mommy can see you, to know that if you don't agree with certain things, you can say, okay, I'm leaving now. But when you lock up in one room with this guy, the mother don't know, and then you have some parents, them can't go knock on them child door, them don't have no right. Them the parents just can't knock on the child's door like it's the child house. I don't understand some of these kids nowadays, You close the door and mommy can't come knock on the door. And no matter if mommy say open the door, it's up to you, the child, if you want to open the door. Anyway, I don't know. It's a different world, different society, and so I don't know what to say. So don't close the bedroom door because the guy can take disadvantage of you. And next one is not to be alone in the house without other family members. And you also, yeah, don't trust nobody. You also have some person say, for instance, they say, you can come over to mommy house because mommy I go make food or whatever, So you have some persons, you go over to the house. Sometimes it's not even the mommy house them care going on. Sometimes it's a different house. Sometimes we up at some place spot nobody else not live. Sometimes at some house which part some persons make, and maybe the person gone a foreign, and some other big man or top man, whatever them name, occupied also. Him as a top man have you as a little friend, and him say, yeah man, you can't kill for your girlfriend or whatever. Sometimes you as a female, you're inexperienced. And him can go for this house which part sometimes nobody know there. Sometimes some people were big and them just think that, oh, this a girl that must have sex so much time already. So them not pay no attention, say you not have no experience. So you did it all by yourself. And the guy just take any disadvantage of you because you are alone, home alone. Way, way up. Way, way up. So don't go to homes where there are no family member. And also spend time in public place. If you are dating, go to the park or the library, somewhere where are in the where somebody can see you. So in case of anything, you can call out for help. Because if you are in an open place and persons will know, but that not look good over there. So what am I trying to do to the female or whatever? You understand me? So they will understand, say, but that no look right. And then someone, no matter how bad it is, someone will come to your rescue to know that, hey, You are not alone. So I'm encouraging you today. If you are not ready for sex, don't be alone with anyone. You know, always be around company. So I hope you have learned something today. I hope you have taken away something, and I hope you try to be the best version of yourself and try to be good to other people, right? And whatever you do your best. Do your best, because only your best is good enough. Until next time, take care of yourself, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Thanks for everything. And I hope you have yourself a great day. Until then, I'll see you again. Those are on my life. Please take care of yourself. Bye. Enjoy your evening. And do something constructive and positive with your life. Maybe. Oh, God. Maybe what you want for yourself is not what the Lord's want for you. So whatever it is that the Lord plans for you, want it is something positive, then you can see it through, right? It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but you have to just try and do your very best. In whatever you do, just do your very best, right? Right, Marty? I love you too, Marty. I love you too. I love you too. You know, it's just like I know you from a long time, but I don't really know you. But I just feel like I know you. But I hope you're a good citizen. Yeah, and just continue to be strong until we meet again. Again, when I send you my number, you tell me if I send you my email address, right? I'm gonna send you my email address. It look like you did hungry and you eat it, right? Now you come back. You come back and I tell me say, you come back and I tell me say, me fi send you my WhatsApp number. Dear Jesus. Me fi send you my WhatsApp number. To be honest with you, to be honest with you, I don't remember my WhatsApp number out of my head. Until sometime I change my WhatsApp number. I think my WhatsApp number is 5964332. I don't know where you want my WhatsApp number. 5964332. Uh-oh. Alright, so my number is, I guess it's 5964332. Right? I don't know how to write my number. As time goes by, I will learn certain things. But right now, I don't really know how to write my number. So, if, if, if you don't get my number, you will get my number. Don't worry. Why I can't put my number over the line? And then you ask me for the number. They say scammer out there. Scammer them there. Scammer. Look here, I don't want number me having no say if them get that the number that I can always change my number. Where me for email you? Anyway, so my email is my name at yahoo.com or at gmail.com. If you know my name, that's my name. My name is right there, right? So on my live, so that's my email at yahoo.com or at gmail.com. Marty, you know your head very tough. Your head tough, you know? Your head is so tough. Maybe we have similar head. No problem. I only part tough head out there. And I know you're alone. It's not, you're not alone. But I don't really have a lot of secrets, So if I give up my number, I have other numbers. So I think if I don't know how to block them, I ask you how to block them. Right, Marty? And you can also have a number where you can call in, and say, oh, you can call in. Suppose you want to talk on my program, you can call in on that number and voice your opinion, right? You can call in and voice your... Marty, are you there? I'm not hearing from you. Did you get the number? Here's my number. Okay, until next time, Marty. I don't know what to plan. I don't know what to plan to. I don't know what to plan to do with my number. Hey, I just wish you all the best. All the best. All the best that life has to offer. What time I even know? Jesus. I saw time late. I so long me I talk for. I so long me I talk for. Let me not have nothing to do. Oh Jesus. Okay, bye guys. Take care. Okay, bye guys. Take care of yourself and see you. See you when I see you, okay? Bye.